Intrepid viewers, how are you traveling? You good? Now, this will be the last monthly read. I'll be doing more normal ones, of course, but I like to do each month. And normally I do it week by week. But because it's the end of the year, I thought I'd do a big Celtic cross. I used to do them all the time. If you look back on my early videos, I had these huge spreads. And over the last 5 years, they've come down to these little bite-size 4 and 5 carders. So I thought I'd do you a big Celtic cross for Christmas. Strange event, Christmas. I feel very hypocritical as a non-practicing Christian to be doing anything about it. But I was just thinking, I was talking with my sister and back in the day, because we grew up in the tropics. And of course, it's the middle of summer here. And no one had aircon. No one had aircon. So you'd sit around eating this huge turkey dinner with a wet towel around your neck. And then the men would pass out. The women would play cards. And we just ran amok. The kids in the neighborhood just ran amok. You know, God knows what we got up to. But yes, it's a bit of a struggle for many because there's all this emphasis on happy families. And it's so not the case. Tell me what you think, viewers. I'm going to say 10%. Maybe 10% of the population really want to join up with their siblings and their relatives and can't wait to see them and look forward to it. And it's the highlight of their year. I doubt it's more than 10%. Let me know. Am I just being a cynical, jaundiced old hag? Maybe people love it. I've got no idea. So here we go. The USA, the end of 2022. How is December going to play out for the USA? Now, I'll try and give you space to see it, but I'll just see what I can do. So we start with the signifier. What is the challenge? What is the underlying situation? The past? What resides above? The journey? Hopes and fears? External influences? Advice? And outcome. I'll show you when we get to it. Okay, now, here we go. God, it's so long since I've done one of these. So in the middle, the signifying card for the USA in December, people still have their swords raised. This could be, for example, like the railway strike. I can't believe that the Senate voted it down. Not even 7 days sick leave a year. God, it's dreadful working conditions. But anyway, it can also be the spy in the camp. So maybe some of the GOP or even the Yeti himself will let their guard down at this time of year and think, oh, nothing much will happen. But someone's got their ears out here. What is the challenge for America in December? Okay, the fogginess, it's very hard to get real information. We're all drowning in misinformation, but it's more than that. I hope there's no viewers who are new to this channel who misunderstand my love for the USA, you know. But for regular Intrepid viewers, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. It's not until the delusion is lifted. You know, if you're born cradle to grave and you're told it's the greatest country on earth and you are so blessed to be born into it or to get permission to move into it, of course, that's what you think. Whereas it's an illusion. You know, it's terrible working conditions, terrible retirement conditions for most people, and no universal health care. Every other industrial nation in the world has universal health care. So I think it's talking big picture stuff about that. Okay. What is the underlying situation? Now we're coming up with some major arcanas here. The Fool. Be careful at the next steps that are being taken because, whoops, you might fall off a cliff. But this isn't all doom and gloom at all, because the Fool is new beginnings. So there's a potential here with the underlying situation. Some people will insist on tippy-toeing to the edge of the cliff and may or may not fall over it. But the dog is barking a warning, but also there is new energy coming with the Fool. So it's not just a negative card. In the past, what has happened? So, meaning in the context of this spread, what has happened through the year to get to this point? King of Wands is here, action man, right? So I think this represents everything, even though it's not a judicial card that's coming up soon. Finally, action is being taken regarding the Yeti and January 6th and so forth. There has been action. Please trust that there will be more action. And there is energy around the King of Wands. Right. Now, what resides above? Another major arcana, the Hanged Man. And in this case, see, we had three major arcana in a row here. I'll just point them out to you if I can. We had the Moon, we had the Fool, and we had now the Hanged Man. What resides above? So a new perspective is desperately needed, a new way to look at big problems. And this is global. We have to rethink peak capitalism. We all have to. Everyone's working conditions are being eroded. The corporatization of countries, too much power concentrated in the hands of too few. We have to come up with new ways of looking at old problems. Now, this I think is another good card. The journey through December. Be kind to each other. And this is about supporting one another's ideas and ideals. So just like Thanksgiving is wrapped up in some quite, kind and generous ideas, it doesn't act out on the ground that often, but Christmas is also a time. Oh, I just heard Ukraine. I'll have to pull another card or two on Ukraine. But Christmas is going to be significant because it's a big deal in Ukraine and it's a big deal in Russia. So this is a time for working together. This is the journey in December. The hopes and fears. The hopes are for the world. See, I was just talking about that. And this is it. So on the one hand, the world represents the end of the major arcana cycle, lessons learned. The figure is stepping forward, but looking back at what she's learned. People can do this, and it can change the world. It's also my card of different ethnicities and tolerance, right? So hopes and fears, to me, that's much more hope than it is fear. The fear could be represented by the tired old argument that the migrants are piling up at the border and are just here to take white Americans' jobs, and that mythology and viciousness, which isn't borne out by the actual economy that needs immigration. Hello. Anyway, I digress. I think this is a fabulous card to have in this position. Okay, so the next one, what are the external influences on America during this time? Okay, so what we've got here is the King of Swords. So external influences, I think this could be, I'm thinking this could be legal stuff actually that's international. It could be about Ukraine. It could be about China cracking down on dissidents. It could be legal implications and complications for the Yeti. He might be kept from his suntan lotion or something truly huge. Anyway, this is an important card and it does speak legal eagles. Advice here, relax. You guys have been under the pump for 5 years. Relax, enjoy the silly season, please. You know, you're due some genuine relaxation and lots of fun. That's awesome. Now, I am a tiny bit worried, I'll confess, the outcome card. Okay, I'm going to draw a couple of clarifiers. 5 of Cups. Hard to dress this card up. It's a card of loss and grief. And 3 cups have spilled, but 2 are still upright. There's a bridge connecting this regret to a brand new day. But it's not a fun card. And I always tell my students, never end a reading on a negative card. You know, ask where to go from here. So here we have the 5 of Cups. So perhaps it could be the aftermath of a bit of too much partying. But as a nation, this is probably realistic. You know, once the streamers have been swept up and the balloons have been popped and gone off into the atmosphere to poison bald eagles, after all that, there could be a come down, so be warned. Okay, but I'm going to pull a clarifier or 2 now. What do intrepid viewers need to know? Oh, you are so special to me, guys. Intrepid viewers, what do you need to know? Intrepid viewers. Okay. Right. All right. Energy here. We had the King of Wands and the 8 of Wands. Okay. So the 8 of Wands is as soon as, you know, Christmas, New Year passes, lots of things happening. Incoming, vroom, 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 vroom. Let us hope that that is a raft of indictments and charges and stuff for everyone who worked so hard to undermine the country. 8. I'd like to think there's at least 8 of them. And you would have all heard Stuart Rhodes convicted. Has he been sentenced? I've been out to lunch really for 2 days. He probably has, but in any event, it was major and important. So more of that. Now, the High Priestess, a very misunderstood card, and because when we're dealing with political readings all the time and you're dealing with ghastly, vicious, warped, hypocritical people, the cards take on a bit of that slant. I don't think this is her as the hidden agenda, although I'm sure there are many hidden agendas going on. No, this is more her in the feminine principle for the new year, the feminine principle. And that's why men are not excluded from this at all. Men who care are exercising the feminine principle of nurture. Okay. She goes way, way, way back into the mists of time, deep, deep, deeply mysterious. And this is deep spirituality, because I genuinely believe, let me know what you guys think, we're at a spiritual junction point, right? And as a collective, we're being asked to change our frequency, lift our frequency up to deal with everything that's going on in a really positive and enduring way that's a legacy for the future. Instead of destroying forests and oceans and everything else, it's beholden on all of us to make really positive steps in any way we can. And so this is about tuning in to your deeper inner wisdom. So you can be tuning into your deeper inner wisdom after you've had a Manhattan or so, whatever your favorite tipple is. It might simply be a delicious tea. It's up to you. But let me know what you're all thinking and feeling at the end of 2022. And you know how much I love you. I love you this much and more and more. So thank you, guys. Take care. I'll be back in a few days. I don't want you to think this is a wind-up one for the year. No, 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 no. This is December. But I think it's got advice tucked in there. So I hope it's useful for you. So take care and bye for now. Ciao.